Hello,
What up?
I'm Iki Ali,
I'm Sai Ali.
and we are Brothers Ali. So, for this review, we're going to talk about
Not -1.
which is Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. So yeah, this movie just is like, honestly, like after watching like Godzilla versus Kong, I'm like, where do they go from here? And then out of nowhere, they have like this very cheesy teaser, like it shows nothing. It shows like some sort of like very lackluster graphics teasing the new empire. I'm like, what is this gonna be? Is it gonna be like an animated sequel, or is it going to be like another live action? Is it gonna be from the same director? Apparently it is Adam Wingard, the director for Godzilla vs Kong. And yeah, so this movie happened. So it's the newest entry in the Monsterverse.
Yeah, it is.
And I guess they're doubling down on not showing human drama, because right now they have Monarch for that. Apparently, I don't ever watch it. Depending on which side of fans you are, you might like Monarch. I heard it's good. Also, the same people might say it's terrible for their own reasons. So yeah, I mean, this movie, straight up with you, it has a similar vibe to RRR minus the heart.
It does.
I mean, in terms of
I don't think so.
the sheer like CGI carnage involving animals and creatures. That's what I mean by RRR. But that's the only similarity it has. So
I think that's too far fetched. Um, I mean, the story is pretty simple. It's like mostly you just follow Kong and Godzilla with whatever they're doing.
oh yeah, and Kong has more screen time this time.
Yeah, he does.
He's like technically the main character of this one. We
Yeah,
see his growth, and his story arc is not so much his growth. He's like already chilling, hanging, and then shit happens to him, and yeah,
but
in the
unfortunately,
whole world.
there's less Godzilla in this one.
Yeah, less Godzilla because he's just like a thing that is like an afterthought. Like, you know what? I can't do this alone. Like, we have Godzilla in Monsterverse, right? So Kong will be like, yeah, let's recruit Godzilla in this one, and yeah, that's I don't know what else to talk about this movie, because
So
it's just that's the simplest form of entertainment.
stuff happens,
Yeah.
and then they felt the presence of something based on Godzilla's reaction and based on Gia's vision. In case you forgot, like I did, Gia is apparently the last survivor of the
Iwi tribe.
Iwi tribe or something.
Yeah, it's a Iwi tribe.
Um,
From Skull Island, which
and
is where Kong was
she
from.
was supposed to assimilate with the normal
Society.
yeah, the normal kids and everything like
But
that.
she just can't.
But she have these I would say magic visions.
That misconstrued by her teacher to be like she needs to,
Yeah.
like she's as
I
problematic,
I
but
didn't
she's not
watch
really.
all those god awful Transformer movies, but I have a feeling like this is like what was it, like the second or third movie where Shia LaBeouf got some visions and go crazy and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's
Like it
second
gives
or
off
third
that
movie.
vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then so
apparently.
just like Transformers, it all leads to giant things fighting other giant things,
Yes, I
which
mean,
is good fun, but after a while you start to question what's the point of all of this.
yeah, I mean, it's fun watching monsters. I mean, this is technically like, if we still have our toys, right? We're like bashing our toys together. That's what this movie is. And like you, I'm questioning the longevity of Monsterverse. Like, what else can they add
I, I
in
mean, like
this
you can argue that it's
universe?
a separate franchise,
Uh huh.
but I feel like because there's Kong involved, but I feel like it's a whole big franchise. For the
Mm.
most part, it is meant to be stagnant, and it's not meant to be a franchise in my eyes, because if you really think about it, most Godzilla movies is just the same premise over and over and over again. It's just, for the most part, including the ones in Japan, it's just a reiteration of like this monster, and or in this version this monster is a hero, in this other version this monster is just a dick.
Mm.
And I don't, I mean, don't get me wrong, um especially in 2023, it is proven that Marvel fell off, right?
Yeah, man, it fell
And
off.
like, and then there's like the Fast Furious and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That one was like, it's weird since the beginning. And then they change genre, it gets even weirder, and the quality is debatable, right?
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
So but those two, in a way, you can kind of see how things grow as they go along. Like, for example, when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is about like how these humans trying to become gods, and they try to establish different connections
Yep.
around the world.
Mm.
And one hero can be at every place at one time, so
Yes.
they need each other, everything like that, and then they have to control the balances between the celestials and the street level superheroes, and things like that. And then when it comes to Fast and Furious, it tries to be like, I guess, James Bond, where they
Mm.
do like spy stuff and high stakes battles and everything like that, that goes beyond racing. So just like Mission Impossible, another
Yes.
franchise, you can kind of see how it can grow into something more as more installment comes in. But when it comes to Godzilla, it's mostly just a retelling of the same story over and over and over and over again. And then we hear about -1, but we got this one instead. Um,
So with -1 we didn't get, but you got this one instead. So
uh,
Good things come to those who wait means that patience and persistence are often rewarded with positive outcomes or rewards.
I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just I don't think the way Japanese franchises their IP would kind of work in a Hollywood template. Like,
I don't know about that.
I
I
don't know.
mean, yeah, you can kind of say that it won't work on a little bit. To me, it won't work in general. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, it
Mm.
feels like if you get just like a Godzilla movie, you just stick to that one, And it's arguable, maybe you need the first one because that's the original one, the first Godzilla. And then maybe Shin Godzilla, I heard that was a good one. And then the critically acclaimed -1. But I don't think you need all these other movies that keeps telling the same story. And this feels very much like the last movie, which is ironic because I don't even remember what happened in the last movie. So apparently, since Gia is the last surviving member of the Iwi, she is adopted by Rebecca Hall's character,
Eileen Andrews.
Eileen Andrews.
Yeah.
And then
And-
she got these visions, and then there's some stuff where like Godzilla is going somewhere and they're following some kind of like frequency reading or whatever.
And to remind people that this is a franchise and it needs some sort of continuity, the other character that came back is Bernie Hayes, played by Brian Tyree Henry, who is the
I mean,
yeah
I
the
like
podcaster
him.
guy.
I like him in recent movies, right? I don't see him much, but I think he's on a coming up right now, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think this franchise helps him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was there on the first movie or whatever, but I think he shines more in other stuff like Bullet Train, or even like the movie that not a lot of people like. What was that? The Eternals. Like, it was pretty good. As that character. But in this one, I don't know, man. It's like I don't care about him in the first movie. And I care about him even less. And he's supposed to be like the
Comic relief. Yeah.
But the way they do it is like in the weak way, or like, some shitty anime does it, like Bleach or Black Clover, whatever. They pause and they tell a joke. They pause and they tell a joke. It's like just, and for everything that happened, someone have to react.
Yeah. It just doesn't work. Like, and but to Adam Ringer's credit, the non-verbal comedy is there even more now when there's the Kong communicating with the other creatures. So yeah, he has a friend now, and the adversary
Apes together, strong.
ape together strong. Yes, and then their adversary this time, yeah, because this is no longer a versus movie, but in the versus movie usually it's like they fight and then they will fight a common threat together. It's not gonna be versus all the time, but this time is they straight up a crossover, so it's just Godzilla x Kong. So together they're going to fight another giant ape called Scar King.
I think that trope, right?
Yeah,
In a versus movie, right?
yeah.
I think the only two times that work is for me is one Civil War, the movie version, and then also Batman versus Robin. I think that's the only two times it works. For the most part, the trope is kind of lame, especially in BVS. It's like, okay, but the thing is, there are scenes where King Kong have to fight Godzilla, and it's already established that Kong is the weaker person, right?
The weaker Titan, yeah.
The weaker Titan. So it's more of like King Kong try to lure Godzilla into the actual enemy
Because
that they're supposed
they
to be
don't have a
face.
common language to speak of, so
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have to like fight first, because Godzilla must fight Kong at some capacity, because that's just the premise of Monsterverse. They don't know how else to. I mean, the only place to go right now is just freaking do a crossover with Pacific Rim. Come on, do it, man. Legendary, you hold the rights, do it. It's there. I mean, I don't know how I was gonna expand on this. Do it, just do it. It's right there on a platter. Money.
If this movie have anything going for it, I guess it's the character Trapper. It's kinda cool, I guess.
Yeah, played by Dan Stevens, who is the Beast.
They do
yeah.
this thing where it's a
Legend.
character first introduced to us for the first time ever, right? And then they pretend as if we're supposed to know them all along, and it turns out he was an old flame to Rebecca Hall's character. So
Yeah.
that's how he come into the picture. And
You
then when
know,
they went on this adventure, they
Ah.
all go together. Yeah, whatever.
you know what's funny? This character Trapper by Dan Stevens reminds me of uh what was the guy's name? The Roth, the British Roth. That's Eli Roth. That's the what's his name? I forgot his name
I
right
forgot
now.
his name, man.
But yeah, that
Tim
Roth.
Roth. Is
Tim
it?
Roth, yes, Tim Roth. This reminds me of Tim Roth in The Hateful Eight, where the character is for Christoph Waltz, but Tim Roth is acting in it. So when I see Dan Stevens, all I think of Draco Malfoy could fill in for this guy. Like,
Yeah, it feels
it
like
feels like that. Like, I don't know. Yes and no miscast.
yeah, it's one of the weird cast.
One
I
of
mean,
the recasting.
if
choice.
you seen like if you don't know what we're talking about, right? If you see Inglorious Bastards, right? You're gonna see Christoph Waltz like shine as the evil Hans Landan.
Yeah.
And then when you see another movie starring him, Django Unchained, you see more of the cool side of him, right?
Yes.
So now you kind of have an idea of how Christoph Waltz act, right? Especially in the Quentin Tarantino movie. So in the third movie that we thought it's supposed to be in, but it's not.
It was Tim Roth instead, so it's
Yeah.
a cognitive dissonance.
So in that movie, Hateful Eight, weirdly enough, in spite not having Christoph Waltz as part of the cast, Tim Roth fill in his shoes. Like literally, Tim Roth act as the, I guess, typecast of Christoph Waltz. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I saw other movies like Carnage. You should watch that, by the way. There's a hidden gem. That stars Christoph Waltz. It's not like what do you say, Jai Courtney, which is always typecasted into this, muscular guy does stuff, except for when he's Captain Boomerang,
Yeah.
right? So, but if you can take some, parts of him and amalgamize it together into one character, and you're supposed to call that the typecast. So Tim Roth becomes that.
Yeah.
So in this movie, again, getting back to not -1. So Trapper, Dan Stevens acting as Trapper. Trapper is like Draco Malfoy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I mean, to be specific, Tom Felton as he is in, I can't remember which season of The Flash. Yeah, Dan Stevens looks like
Oh, he was
Tom
in the
Felton
Flash.
in The Flash.
In the CW Flash.
Yes, in the CW Flash. It's like, yeah, I just thought of that now. I'm like, where have I seen Dan Stevens look before?
That's the thing about
Yeah.
that's the thing about this movie. As you watch it, you think about other things,
So, yeah.
including the previous movie.
Yes, it's like,
And again, that's why I say it's ironic. Despite you thinking about the previous movie, you don't remember the relationships with the characters from the previous movie.
because yeah, they really want this just to be like, I don't know, Warner Bros is trying to like, you know what, this is like our side gig, like our freelancing work, so we just like do this when we're bored. That's what Monsterverse is, and this movie is that also.
I mean, for some reason, there's ice in this.
Ice.
Ice.
Oh, ice.
A monster that does ice.
Oh yeah, that's the what the Scar King was controlling, an ancient titan.
Yeah,
or
Scar
kaiju.
King is another, it's a giant monkey.
Yeah.
Ape. It's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah, he's trying to conquer Earth.
I mean, there's that. And then there are like a bunch of people that they found. Apparently, people thought they were gone, but they're still there. And then everyone's supposed to protect these people, I guess. That's why they have to fight,
And
as Ken Watanabe's character once say,
Let them fight.
now, you know what? I'm kind of low key missing like human drama now in this
yeah,
franchise.
that's the thing. There's
Just
like
low key, okay, low key.
there is like a sprinkling of human drama here and there, but they are not developed enough for us to care. So if they're there but they're not doing anything, why are they there?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what everyone wants, but I just want to see it fully realized. Okay, like Beast Wars, right? I watch it as a kid. I enjoy it for what it is. But I know for a fact that I don't want to rewatch it, because even as a kid, I'm one of those kids that like, I don't know why, but I don't want to keep watching this. I just want to watch it now and then. And then as I get older, I don't even feel like revisiting it, because I have a feeling that there is a reason why I don't want to watch it. And then I play some snippets of it and it's like, oh my god, of course, it looks like shit. So we need an update, right? Like a really good 3D update.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine if this Monsters Inc. level, pizza level type of shit, but it's just robots fighting robots, monsters fighting monsters, no humans at all. How about that? Let's do that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do that? I want to see -1. What's -1?
Good things come to those who wait.
Bad news about Transformers only robots. They're doing one and it looks terrible as shit.
So, how long do you think we'll be here? I'm not talking to you.
So you're doing right now. It's supposed to be like a prequel before Optimus Prime become Optimus Prime and all that. Yeah, that's an actual law, but the way they approach it is just, hopefully
The more you talk about that, the more I lose interest. I lose interest by the second. I don't care.
all right.
Fuck
Just
prequels, fake prequels. I hate fake prequels. What I mean by fake prequels is that
okay.
it didn't exist when they write this thing. They haven't wrote this thing before. And then when they start to make it, they create something new and pretend as if it was always the plan all along. For example, Lightyear. That movie was
Lightyear.
freaking atrocious.
That's contrived as fuck,
like
man.
even Monsters University.
Yeah,
What's the point of that movie?
Yeah.
Nothing like in that movie reminds you of Monsters Inc. It doesn't look like a movie that will lead these characters to them growing up to be the Sully and Mike in Monsters Inc.
And there's a lot of continuity errors too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, again, I said it to people before, I say it again. If there's ever any true prequels, it will be Mayan to the Sons of Anarchy. Because if you see Sons of Anarchy, there's zero flashbacks, but there are instances where people explore, things from the past. I mean, like they look at, okay, this place, they figured there was an accident and it reminded of that time, blah, 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 and they just characters, old people talking about other old people to the younger people, So people will go, oh, so that's what happens, and you piece these things together, and then in case you want to see it, Sutter create another show. It's called Mayans. So usually it's not like that. Usually that's not how things are written. A true sequel, a true prequel would be like The Hobbit. But unfortunately, to this day, we don't get Hobbit. That's the thing. We watch the movie, you think about something else. You talk about the movie, you talk about something else. Let's just end it here. It's not the worst. It's there. 6.5 out of 10. I don't care. At 6.6, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
I mean, that's for him. And yeah, the movie delivers its premise. Monsters fighting monsters. It's like bashing your your toys together. I mean, it's a fun time. The story, whatever, like who really cares about them anyway? So I'm a bit more forgiving. I'm gonna give it initially I give it like 7.5 when I talk to my cousin or something, but I'm just gonna demote it to just 7. Or was it always 7? I can't remember. So yeah, for me, 7 out of 10.
And the fights are fun. Don't get me wrong. If you just like, this is the movie that you don't see. This one of those like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of bored today. Maybe I should watch something.
Yeah,
you
it's
go
that kind
see
of-
this.
Yeah. So,
So,
that's
yeah,
it.
that's all that we have to say about not -1.
Good things come to those who wait.
Yeah. Peace out.
Peace out.